Well, hello there, my darling Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your twin flame reading for November-ish 2019. I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions. Professional witch, professional intuitive, been in business a really long time. And here to serve you are the last one in the Zodiacal series for these twin flamers, as I am liking to call them, and honestly what a knockdown drag out this has been. And we'll get to why if you are new. If this is your first of my videos ever, you'll see we were going to talk about what twin flame contracts are in the new fifth dimensional paradigm definition and all of that. But first I would like to say to my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing and following along. We're past the 500 mark, right? We're shooting for that 1,000 so I can do super live chat, right? Like that's the next achievement, right? Believe it or not, I was a Boy Scout. It was hysterical. I got relatively far. I think I made it to what, first class scout? I made chocolate mousse in the woods with a Ziploc bag. How your kid might be gay. Maybe. Just saying. So if you are new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, help me get my numbers up there. And my promise is I will do drunk tarot once a month as a super live chat. Of course, I will do regular chat. I don't know that I'll do dailies. We'll see, right? The gods just want me to do it, so I'm headed in that direction. Help me reach my goal. Thank you so very much. What else? This is a general reading, so if it doesn't fit, take what resonates. The prayer that I do every single time I do a reading, whether it's for YouTube or for a client sitting across from me or a video client, I do all my readings on Facebook Messenger or Skype, something where we can actually interact. I don't like the idea of recording a video and sending it to somebody. It's like, no, I'm a communicator. Soul number 3, soul path number 3, communicator. I'm a spiritual counselor. It's what I do. It's what I'm best at, that and readings and teaching, obviously. Yeah, this is a general reading. Please check your other signs, right? That's why I always do Sun, Moon, Rising as a foundation. I'll throw in Venus or Mars or, you know, whatever, Mercury, if appropriate, to the reading. The next series I'm doing, I will be starting with Aries. We're doing that. We're doing Pisces to Aries and Aries to Pisces and Pisces to Aries, back and forth. We're going to be doing quickies for the What Do I Need read for this new moon to full moon next, right? From Sagittarius to Cancer moon, right? Yeah, Sagittarius new moon to Cancerian full moon. I think that's how that works. Or is it, would it be Gemini full moon? I don't know. I have to check the calendar. Yeah, I think it will be in, yeah, it'll be moving along. Sorry, that's what happens when I try and do math. Not fun. I'm verbal, can you tell? So let's talk quickly about twin flame contracts. There are essentially two different forms of contract that we are aware of in terms of pre-incarnational agreement. I'm sure there are more, but these are the two that are spoken about the most. One is called a soulmate contract. The other is called a twin flame contract. They are different. They are not the same thing. I see a lot of readers merging them together, conflating them, and I understand why, because they are mystical, right? So, meaning they are things of mystery. They're part of the divine plan. We'll never ultimately know what's in them until maybe when we croak, and even then, you better have a good lawyer, right? And that's the thing with mysticism. Anything of mystery, the mind, for its own sense of balance and survival, tends to make up a lot of fiction along the way, when ultimately we won't know. The ultimate grace for me is the grace of humility. Oh, Goddess, grant me the maiden grace of humility, to know that I do not know, but I am willing to be shown divine truth as I go, right? It's humility, and it spares you a lot of humiliation, the grace of humility, as you journey. What they have in common, soulmate and twin flame, they're about healing, all right? So in a soulmate contract, essentially the same thing, you help each other heal, right? And you have more than one soulmate. You have hundreds of soulmates. It doesn't mean that the relationships are always happy-go-lucky 24/7. There are bumps in the road, but they always seem to work themselves out, right? Because the love is there. There's even love in twin flame contracts. But it's symbiotic, it's supportive, it's satisfying, right? Like my mom and I are soulmate contract, we totally help each other heal. Twin flames, however, are turbulent, transformative, tricky, triggery, in that the bottom line of the contract there is that you teach each other how to love yourselves, right? How to respect yourselves, how to set boundaries, self-esteem, all the self stuff, right? Self-approval, self-healing, self-love, self-renewal, all of that stuff, because they are turbulent. These are the transformative ones. And also, you have more than one of those too. My father and I had a twin flame contract. And by contract, we couldn't give each other what we really needed. Like, I really wanted, I should say, an open-minded, sane father. And he wanted a heterosexual Catholic son. Well, it looks like nobody got what they really wanted on that one. Not that we didn't love each other fiercely. But I had to learn how to accept myself. He had to learn how to heal himself, which I know on the other side he has. He died the summer between high school and college for me when he was when I was 17 years old. So we've had lots of time talking, particularly at Samhain over the year, right? So even then we were able to heal once he crossed over. So you can feel there's a difference between the two. Yeah, there's a link in the description box below to a video from KAHN, spiritual teacher, absolute genius, called Soul Contracts, Twin Flames and Soulmates Redefined. Genius. His work is just genius. It just is. Very fifth dimensional, higher vibrational POV, point of view on everything. Cool, cool. What else? Oh, we are going to be doing divine feminine, divine masculine for this reading. That has nothing to do with bodily gender. Hopefully my followers are used to that. So I'm going to use gendered pronouns, but only, I mean, I could say party A, party B, but that's like such lawyer language that it feels in some ways more accurate. For me, at least, I was raised in a litigious environment. You get it. We're just going to use divine feminine, divine masculine to delineate more yin, more yang. Everybody's got both. Last thing, please check the description box below. All the decks that I read are in there at the bottom, but also my ebooks, links to stuff on my website, right? The About Me for like About Mark, About Mal. Go read that. That shit's funny. I wrote it. There are videos on there on my Vimeo.com, Vimeo on demand, right? Path of True Love. Go check out my description box. Good reading. Some good links in there. And lastly, please remember to breathe. I cannot tell you. I think this is the last day of this sinus infection. It's been a week and a half, almost 2 weeks. No, it has been 2 weeks. I get it. I quit smoking. I had to. It was the only way that I was going to clear this out, and I can't go back. Now it's been more than 24 hours. So yeah, thank you. Congratulations. I quit smoking. American Spirit yellows. I miss them horrible, but you know, a little extra money in the account doesn't hurt. So hopefully that's the tail end of this. So that's why breath. Breathe. You don't realize how important breath is until you can't, right? It's one of those. So every time we breathe, we're bringing in divine will, blessings, grace, without even knowing it. That's the funny part. Like, breath is the only prayer we need. So every inhale, you're bringing in what you need. Every exhale, not only are you letting go of whatever's ready to go in that moment, and by the way, you only inhale all the grace you need for that moment, right? Exhaling anything that's ready to go gracefully in that moment. But also you are releasing those blessings into the world. Now, to do that consciously, deliberately, like anything else, it's like, have you ever gotten a really good massage but fallen asleep halfway through it and you're like, oh, I don't remember it, was it good? Yeah, it's like that. It's like, breathe, be aware, be clear, and it also helps me do these readings. So this may be a thing now. I'm just gonna again look at the camera and go, breathe, right? Because when we get triggered, we stop breathing and the energy freezes. And you know, just to remember, breathe. This too shall pass. Let's help it along. A little grace in, a little grace out. Cool, cool. I think that's it. Let's do this. Here we go, Aries. Fasten your seatbelts. It may be a bumpy ride. These twin flames usually are. Take a breath. As I call upon my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, one card to represent the divine feminine in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, one card. What is the dominant archetype, the soul power to be alchemized from lead to gold in for the divine feminine in this Aries collective twin flame? The Midas miser, Midas who everything he touches turns to gold. The miser, like a hoarder who keeps it all for themselves. We're going to lay out the divine masculine and one for the contract itself. Then we'll go over all three. That will set up the dominant energies for this spread. Cool, cool. My pantheon, same thing, but with the divine masculine. One archetype card from the Caroline Mace archetype deck representing the divine masculine in this Aries collective twin flame read for November 2019. Please, one for the divine masculine here. Ooh, the Exorcist. This has popped up before. Now, before you swear off pea soup. This was a terrifying fucking movie. I saw it when I was way too young, right? And somehow I still became a mystic, right? Go figure. And actually, I do exorcism, but not the kind you think. This is a big deal in the time that we're in right now, particularly with the divine masculine. We will get there. It's not what you think. If you always go in right for the literal meaning of an archetypal pattern, you usually miss it. There are so many subtle degrees and variations that you sort of have to kind of not just think it, feel it out, because these are soul powers. The mind alone can't get there, right? So let's get one for the general contract itself, please. My collective pantheons, one card for this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. What is the dominant archetype power being developed, alchemized from lead to gold? November-ish 2019 for this Aries collective. Oh, good. Hedonist. Well, at least you'll have fun, hopefully. Because like any archetype, the shadow side is really toxic, but as toxic as the shadow or the lead is as brilliant and as healing as its light. It is always in equal balance. Archetypes are neutral, so it depends on how you use it. Let's define this divine feminine here. Let's define the divine. Good luck. The shadow attribute, we'll start with the lead, and then we'll look at the gold or the light attribute that this contract, because it is transformative twin flame, it's like putting lead in a furnace, holding it in the crucible, right? The little thing that holds it in place while it burns, while it transforms, turning up the heat, right? The twin flame itself is the crucible, right? So that the lead, the toxicity, can be burned off to become gold, because lead has 3 extra atoms than gold. So something must be what? Forgiven or given for, right? You know, here's a great way to look at forgiveness, by the way, whether or not it shows up. What are the chances it would show up in a twin flame contract? Really, the whole phrase is, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be better. To make better choices. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to find out what my own toxicity is, to how to heal myself, right? That's really how you know you've forgiven something. Isn't that genius? Matt KAHN. I mean, I knew that. I had other words from that from Course in Miracles, but that's like a nice way to remember it. So let's look at the lead and the gold here. The shadow attribute of the miser archetype, because that would be the shadow side, hoarding, money, and emotions. Not great. Obsessive fear of losing your wealth. Now, that's more than just physical wealth, obviously. But that thing of hoarding money, right? You ever watch Hoarders? Nothing makes me fucking clean my house faster. That's how I know I'm not a hoarder. I'm just a little messy. Most mystics are, right? Most who deal with occult forces are too busy trying to keep themselves in balance than to scrub the toilet twice a week. Although I do try. Right? So that thing also of hoarding emotions, right? So not letting anybody know what you feel. Now, for a divine feminine, it sounds a little rare, but might not be. Like, how good, if you identify as a divine feminine here, how good are you at really holding on to your emotions, perhaps even holding grudges as a sense of self-protection, right? Obsessive fear of losing your wealth, and that can mean all different types of wealth, just not just financial. The light attribute, entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold, delight in sharing one's riches. So you can feel that Midas, the Midas touch, right? That entrepreneurial thing of like, oh, well, if we do this, this could, and it multiplies. So you feel the sort of negative, positive with the Midas and the positive, the miser. It's really about sort of generosity of spirit in one sense, in uplifting everyone, right? Turning things around, making it work, turn to gold, or that hoarding of the miser, of pulling back. And misers just ain't never fun to be around. And we got a hedonist archetype here, which we'll get to. Ooh, the golden hedonist is something to contemplate. What's that like? That's where you have so much fun. The planet heals. So for this Exorcist, no impersonations on that one, I refuse. The shadow attribute, fear of facing your own inner demons, right? And we see it all the time, right? Like people who are so anti this and anti that and anti that, and they are possessed by demons, right? You can feel the wrath, right? Often the envy. Notice I'm naming deadly sins here. The sense of entitlement, right? The sense of greed for power. Right? It's so scary, so toxic. The gluttony for negativity. Well, I am naming the 7 deadly sins one by one. That you got to look at your own inner demons, right? And there is a certain truth to, if you spot it, you got it. Like if you see somebody have it, you have it in yourself. And I mean, that's true in the vibrational collective sense that we're all one. But just because somebody is violent doesn't necessarily mean that it's like, oh no, I must have violence inside of me. We need to outgrow that. What's more the truth is they have been brought into our field to teach us something about ourselves that may very well be the opposite, or how to bless them with the opposite. There's so much more to the mirrors, right? There's, oh my God, the 7 Essene mirrors from the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? This whole other thing. There are good videos on that stuff. Check out Greg Braden, G-R-E-G-G, I think, B-R-A-D-E-N, Hay House author. Really good video on that. It's a whole workshop for free if you want to check it out, right? So that shadow attribute, refusal, right? Fear of facing your own demons. How can you exercise them if you don't know what they are, if you don't know they're there? The gods cannot heal what you will not acknowledge. The light attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. And look, the divine masculine is going through major detox on the planet right now. All the deceptions, right? All these shadow plays coming out into the light for exposure and healing, right? Like popping a zit, you gotta get the infection up and out. So the ability to free yourself and others of those destructive impulses in a twin flame contract, very helpful for each other and for the planet. But remember, by contract, you're learning how to heal yourselves individually. Can't really help each other heal. You can't give each other what you really want, but you give each other what you really need, which rarely satisfies the personality, but is for the betterment of the development of the soul. The hedonist archetype, one of my personal favorites, because I have it lifelong in the sign of Virgo. Read Sacred Contracts, really fascinating book by Caroline Mace. The shadow attribute, I think we're all aware of. The shadow attribute of the hedonist, right? Pursues pleasurement to the detriment of health. In other words, overindulgence, right? Indulges at the expense of others. It's a narcissistic hedonism. If it's, I don't fucking care if you get yours, I got mine, right? I'm gonna have fun. You all fucking take care of yourself. Now, as a Virgo, I can tell you there are times where you take care of everybody else and it's like, this is my day off. Why am I still working? Like, I love you all. That's different, right? That's a healthy boundary. The shadow side of the hedonist, it just never goes anywhere. Well, it leads to addictions. Well, the addictions are usually already in play, but it leads to overindulgence in addiction, right? Pursuing pleasure to the detriment of health, mental, emotional, physical, and of course spiritual, if you're doing it in any way that is dishonorable the soul takes the hit. The light attribute inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in yourself, even that generosity of like, okay, I may not have a cent in the bank, but oh my God, it is so nice to have this roof over my head. I mean, I've been here. I've been a small business owner for over 20 years. Drawing the Circles started Beltane 1998. Do the math. That's 21 and a half years. There have been plenty of times like, okay, don't know how the bills are getting paid, but my God, I love what I do, right? And really pouring that hedonism into that creativity, right, to inspire embracing and experiencing the good things in life, as well as celebrates the beauty in yourself. In a twin flame contract in particular, you may want the other person to see your true beauty, and that's lovely, except that probably by contract they can't. You're learning how to see your beauty. So this is for both the divine feminine and the divine masculine, what's available in the contract itself for November-ish. Got it? The rest of this will go much quicker. Those are the three dominant energies that we will clarify now with the Healing with the Angels Oracle, Doreen Virtue. Cool, please breathe. Oh, my angels, please, one card in clarity for the divine feminine, Midas, Miser archetype in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. What say you? We have got the Midas, Miser with new love. Okay. New love of self, new love for the other. I mean, just because it's twin flame doesn't mean there wasn't love there. My father and I loved each other very much, but it's just we were never going to give each other what we wanted. But that didn't mean we didn't love each other. Absolutely. Now that he's dead, it's much easier, I will say. By the way, I'm not a medium. I'm a rare. Just saying. So, new love with the Midas Miser. That's my only medium joke, except maybe I could say I'm large. Sicilian. Let's look at the divine masculine. We get that. There's new love there for her, but, you know, is it that thing of, is she going to hoard that new love for herself? Is she going to bless that? Is that love for herself or another? We shall see. Because if it's learning how to love the self, then it's really fitting the contract. Pardon me, I do have water there if I need it. You'll see it. What the hell, you don't mind, do you? Just a sip. I have to stay hydrated. It's water. Oh, let's just put you back there next to Wonder Pig. Hi, Diana. Just gotta stay hydrated. Plus, with the heat on in here, my skin is dehydrating. Central heat. Let's take a look-see-duck-see with the angels for this Exorcist, please. My angels. Same thing. For the divine masculine Exorcist here in this Aries twin flame collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign contract, please. One card in, come on, one card in clarity. It is that one. Okay, retreat. So new love and retreat. There's no guarantee that this is a romantic sexual contract anyway. If that's the way you're interpreting it for yourself, that's fine. With that hedonist archetype, I get that. But regardless, these are twin flames in separation, right? Because the divine masculine is on a retreat, perhaps a runaway, perhaps she's usually the chaser. But with new love, we're going to have to wait to clarify that a little bit, because if she has rediscovered self-esteem, right? The verb of self-esteem, you know, self-esteem is not a noun, it's a verb. Think about that. That's a big deal. Affects your intuition too. That if she really has found new love for herself, is touching herself with the Midas touch, that's a beautiful thing. Maybe as a result of this divine masculine. In what I'm feeling for the Exorcist is that perhaps he is facing his own demons. His own fears, his own demons, his own patterns, his own perhaps narcissism, pessimism, you know, whatever those issues are that twin flames are supposed to boil to the surface, hence twin flames, right? Let's get one for the overarching contract, please. My angels, one card for this hedonist archetype twin flame contract in the Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for November-ish 2019. Yeah, soulmate. Now look, there is no twin flame card in this deck, so I take soulmates as meaning that this is definitely a soul contract, which is absolutely the case because they're both soul contracts. But that with this touch of soulmate here, and when this comes up, and I just don't like even saying it, but there's a possibility that this might be what's called a true lover contract. That's an insight, a download that I've been getting on and off since I was in my 20s. I'm now in my 50s. That there's a purpose behind me not really liking the term soulmate or twin flame because it's a third dimensional construct of a fifth dimensional and above contract, right? So it's like everybody needs to learn the alphabet. We all start with the song, right? I still use the song. By the way, did you know it's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, the alphabet song? I only learned that in my 30s. I fell on my ass when I saw that. I'm like, holy shit, that's right. But eventually you graduate, right? But although I am still using Schoolhouse Rock to multiply certain things, it's a brilliant mnemonic device, right? So the twin flame contract, I've done videos about it. Sorry, the true lovers contract. It's different. It's very specifically romantic, sexual with this hedonist thing here. That it might be the implosion of the twin flame soulmate contract into true lovers, real high, heavy, but usually very, very, very rough romantic reincarnational cycles for both involved. Maybe it is, maybe it's not, but definitely the two of them are feeling the soul connection, so that prying each other away from each other might be really, really hard. There might be a lot of toxic back and forth going on here. Torturous, right? Twin flame, torturous. What we're going to do is going to get two cards, Daughters of the Moon, one for the Divine Feminine, one for the contract itself. In clarity. All right, my goddesses, please. One card for this Divine Feminine. I almost said Midas. Midas archetype in this Aries collective twin flame contract, please. One card for the Divine Feminine. There, that one. That was fast. All right. Pisces. The card of Pisces. What I love about this deck is it does not mince around with the other signs. It just says right on the card, Pisces. So there's a lot of emotion going on here, but a lot of mutable emotion, a lot of surfing of the waves, right? Dolphin shark, right? We're going to implode those. Tricky, like guppy, piranha. A lot of feelings going on here. Perhaps a bit of tidal moodiness, more perhaps appropriate to Cancerian, but with this really dominant thing also of intuition, of really, really feeling this. But with this new love, like I said, there's a piece of this where this Divine Feminine, perhaps through a phase of hoarding, has begun to understand that she's becoming toxic and is now ready to love in a new way, a higher vibrational way, a love of self, a love of God, a love of goddess, a love in general, which is learning how to love, which is the purpose of twin flame contract. Feels like a very empathic first wave Divine Feminine. Let's look at what the goddesses have to say about this hedonist archetype overall. Please, my goddesses, one card in clarity for this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. And we've got the Wheel of Fortune, the Spider Woman, that this is a destined contract, has to be dealt with in this life one way or another, or it will be repeated, which is true of all contracts. It's just true of all twin flames. So that's why you really can't get it wrong. It's a quantum model. There's near infinite varieties of variance. Every time you say no, another quantum version says yes, right? And just poof, makes the third eye pop, right? Oh, good name for a band, Third Eye Pop. Give you a little Mayhem Miller on that with the third eye. So the weaving of fate and destiny, the unknown mysteries of it all, but with that hedonist archetype to be like, all right, well then if we can't get it wrong, let's just fucking do this. In for a penny, in for a pound. Let's enjoy the ride, right? Like if both people in the contract get, oh, that's the foundation of the relationship. All right. Well, I'm down. Let's not make this such a barn burner 24/7. Let's really see if we can learn and let's max this out, which I think is easier in a familial patterning than in a romantic sexual. Just saying, that's been my experience. Like once I get, oh, your job. Oh, my brother Matthew is Scorpio. I love him dearly, but I mean, we are twin flames. He's taught me how to love myself because I grew up with the faggot, you fucking faggot. Well, come on, it was the 70s and the 80s. Cut the guy some slack, right? He's a heterosexual. He's 3 years younger than me. 3 years older than me. Bless his soul. But you know, now look at it's like, oh, so in other words, if you push my button, you show me the place within myself where I still need healing. Thank you. Now I don't say that to his face, right? But as a result of me holding him to a standard that I can barely reach from day to day, we're more relaxed around each other. We still love each other. He's my brother. We're blood. But it's just not that competition anymore. And plus we're older, right? You know, as you get older, it's like, oh, who gives a rat's ass? I love you, you asshole. It's like, that's family. Hello, my familia. Okay, let's shift to the mythic tarot here. We'll get one from the gods, one for the divine masculine, one for the contract. Cool, cool. Please breathe. Hopefully today is the first day where I won't need Alka-Seltzer Plus or Dayquil to get through because I'm starting the quickies today and I have a private client. So hopefully I won't have to be all, you know, medicine head. Please, 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 my gods, one card in clarity for this divine masculine exorcist archetype with retreat in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Well, Two of Swords. Indecision, right? An exorcist in indecision. Two minds about it. In this retreat. Now, whether or not to retreat feels like the retreat is going on and within the space of that pulling back, retreat, recharge, renew, rebirth. There is this going back and forth, maybe not about should I, shouldn't I. That tends to be element of fire, will, desire. More like, is it or isn't it? Like, is it important? Is this me? Is it them? There's a lot of going back and forth. To me, the Two of Swords is very much about analysis, sort of gathering information. Only a two. Only a two. The three, therefore, need not always be so much about heartbreak, which you'd think would be a water card, a cup, but getting then to the heart of the matter. Focus on the heart of the matter. So if we really keep this, so there's a lot of intellect. Perhaps the divine masculine is over-intellectualizing, over-rationalizing, sort of in a mental spinning of wheels in this retreat, rather than facing their own demons or ridding themselves of destructive impulses. Perhaps the thinking in and of itself is the result of a destructive impulse. Well, let's just keep thinking about it. Let's keep it up here, because if we feel this, right, if we actually feel the demon wrath, the demon entitlement, the demon greed, the demon hubris, I just named the 7 deadly sins demons because they are collectively, sort of, which are just angels that have forgotten what they are. They're really the graces in disguise, but it's another story. Read my book, Words of Grace from Professional Lands by Lyons. One for the overall contract, please, my gods, one card in clarity for this hedonist Aries twin flamer contract for November-ish 2019. Well, 7 of Cups, you know, a lot of options, but also a lot of fantasy. There's some, I don't say out and out delusion here, but you know, the hedonist with the 7 of Cups. It's like, oh, what else we got to drink? Did someone say open bar? Yeah, no, I know we just had tequila, but I want rumplements. Why? Goldschlager, so I can puke in pretty colors. Sparkly. Right? I'll throw some peach schnapps in there and really make it a fucking mess, right? So that's 7 of Cups in there with soulmate. That there's a lot of emotionality here in general. I think passions are running high, though we're not seeing a lot of fire. I am seeing a lot of water. I am seeing absolutely a lot of water here. And feeling it too, that there, it feels like there are so many options. See, but here's the thing about options. They lead to apathy. Have you noticed? Like when you're like, oh, I want to watch something, and you pull up your streaming service of choice like Netflix, and you're just like something that you've seen, like even your regular binges, right? Your go-tos, you're just like, you get apathetic. Where really there's only one option here, and that's to learn how to heal yourself, to learn how to love yourself. So there might be some, but it is destined sooner or later with this card of the Wheel of Fortune. It's written, it's woven into the tapestry of this contract, but that this can be done in a way that really does inspire life, that really is that energy to embrace the good things, right? To celebrate the beauty in yourself, right? To be like, but you know what? This is for my soul. This is making my soul more beautiful. Whatever the castles in the sky may be, the fantasies, the dreams, and the delusions of what I believe this relationship to be, ultimately, if I can focus on that, that is my only option. That's my prayer every day, sometimes several times a day. My gods, my masters, my angels, take away my options, so I only have the one, which is the divine plan, because that's all I'm interested in. And I think you have to have your ass handed to you 50, 60, 70 times in a lifetime before you get there. Dark night of the soul, shamanic descent. Revolving door of the underworld in your bathrooms. You can go anytime and come back whenever you want. You get what I'm saying? After a while, like, take away my fucking options. I don't need them. The only option is the divine, but there's a mystic for you, right? And this is a mystical contract. All of them are. We've got that on the table. Now we're going to get 6 cards. 3 lead, 3 gold from the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack. 1 for each of the main energies. Please breathe. Or not. You see, when you have any kind of postnasal drip, head cold, whatever you want, the reason why they say stay hydrated is because it thins it, otherwise it builds up. And you have to hock a loogie, as we like to say on the East Coast. Check Urban Dictionary, I don't know. So we're using half of the Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, the Suit of Problems, to represent the lead. The other 3 suits, Luck, Healing, and Grace, are in the other half. Now, sometimes I've noticed these two relate to each other immediately. It's obvious, other times not so much. So rather than seeing as one balances the other, it's 2 elements. 1 lead, 1 gold, 1 shadow, 1 light, to be taken into consideration. Cool, cool. So we start with the lead. Please breathe. My Ascended Masters, please, 1 card in clarity. For the lead in the alchemical system of this divine feminine Midas miser archetype in this Aries collective twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, what is her own personal lead? Control. All right, either not wanting to be controlled. Well, with that new love and that Pisces and that Midas miser, there is a control issue in play here. Maybe because the Exorcist divine male has retreated, feeling a lack of control, or that perhaps he is trying to control her by ghosting. Now, I will join the chorus of saying that that's a horrible word for it, ghosting. Sometimes shit is going down. If somebody's battling their demon, I don't automatically go to this person is ghosting me, although I've experienced it so often in my life. I think we do if we are empathic. We can feel what the other person is going through, even at a distance, and if it feels horrible, we misinterpret that as our own. So obviously we've been abandoned and neglected. Or sometimes we take how that person feels as their opinion of us, and it has nothing to do with us. In other words, it's taking it personally. That is called passive narcissism. We're making it about ourselves, but then we people please, mostly divine feminine empathic first wavers do this. We people please so that they will feel better, and so that we will feel better about how they feel about us. It's the most manipulative thing in the world. But so passive, you don't even realize you're doing it, right? So keeping in mind there's a control issue there that certainly lends itself to the hoarding of emotions and or material things that the miser would. So let's take a look, since this one is so clearly defined. Lead in gold, Midas miser. Let's look at the gold, please. My masters, one card in clarity. For this, I get a divine feminine Midas miser archetype in this Aries collective twin flame for November-ish into December-ish. Giving of oneself. How interesting. Consider we've got the Midas archetype, which is about generosity, right? Giving of oneself, right? Giving oneself, not just of oneself, giving oneself here, but with that sense of control on it. That makes a lot of sense. Now, with this new love, it's like, does she want to give this new love a chance? There's a potential in there. Is this a new love with this divine... Well, you know what? I'm going to say with the card Wheel of Fortune that this is, if not a new relationship for both of them in this life, then it is a renewal. Because we all go through the cycles of erosion and renewal, death and rebirth, right? The ebbing and the flowing, the exhale and the inhale. Well, maybe they went through an exhale. Maybe they were waiting to exhale. Now it feels like the inhale is incoming, right? So there's a control thing of like, well, maybe she gave so much of herself as the Midas that now she's feeling she needs to be the miser. That's going to be different for everybody who's watching this. Although we have plenty more cards to lay on the table to get clarity. So let's keep going. The lead for this divine masculine exorcist, which should give us a peek into what are the demons. The fear of facing his own inner demons. Let's look, please, my masters. This feels important. Please, they all are, but one card in clarity for the lead, for the shadow. In this divine masculine exorcist archetype in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, one card in clarity. There you are, just the one. Just the one, this one. Oh dear, specialness. I mean, a favorite of the ego. That's like ego candy. Now, specialness plays itself out in one of two different ways, and yes, can bop back and forth between the two, particularly with the Two of Swords. I'm special better than. I'm special worse than, right? Grandiosity, right? Or just, I am evil incarnate. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. Guess I'll go date worms, right? Guess I'll go eat worms, right? In terms of that specialness there, which can really make this Two of Swords go back and forth infinitely. Bopping back and forth between I'm better than this and I'm less than this. I'm too good for this. I'm not good enough for this. I must pay the rent, but I can't pay the rent, right? You know, very victimizer. That's some tricky shit. That's a demon. That's like a Gemini demon, right? Two faces within the self, both condemning. Not great. Not great. What conflict must be going on in the mind of this divine masculine possessed? I mean, and if envy is involved in there, envy is the deadly sin, the demon of the third eye. It really makes people do crazy things. Take care, divine masculine, and sweetheart. If your Midas touch could heal him, it would have. He's got to face his own demons on this one. Let's get the gold here, please. My masters, this is a really big deal. I can feel the intensity of that specialness, because special means separate. We all have lead. We all have gold. We're all divine children, and yet we all have issues to clear and heal, and we all feel like we're not good enough because we're all one. It's in the collective. Why wouldn't we all experience that? Oh, please, go back to You Can Heal Your Life, Louise Hay. Right, 1980s. I paraphrase Louise, paraphrase everybody. But at core, right, underneath, all of us have the same fear. I am not good enough. Right? The fear of inadequacy. Which then we make up with specialness, and just it's so sad, and it's all pain driven. So what's the gold here, please, my masters? What's the gold for this divine masculine exorcist archetype? Oh, my heart bleeds firm, seriously. In this Aries collective, too many cards. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract. Please, a piece of healing, a piece of grace, a piece of luck. There it is. I feel you. This is the one. Responsiveness, to choose to respond from love. Reactivity is usually of the ego. The ego speaks first and loudest, of course, in Miracles. To respond. So, of course, in retreat, to pull back. Say, how do I want to respond to this? And the question is, if you are the divine masculine here, what would love do? What would love do? What is the loving response? We're all going to get triggered. I mean, this is the time of triggering, apparently, on planet Earth. And I'm so triggered, good, because it's saying there's a hidden landmine. Sorry, right eye, contact lens doing a spin, which usually says to me that that's masculine side, right? Changing the way he sees things with that analysis. Like maybe even somebody watching this right now, it traveled through time and fucked with my contact lens. There we go, it just realigned itself. Thank you. Blessings on this one, because, blessings are essential in exorcism. It's a whole other conversation there, but, psychology is another form of it. Dark night of the soul, the shamanic descent, embracing the shadow. Go check your Samhain read for sure if you're the divine masculine in this one for Aries. Okay, Sun, Moon, Rising, whatever. Oh boy, let's get the lead out of this contract, please, my masters. One card in clarity for this hedonist archetype contract, twin flame contract, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, November 2019-ish. Okay, fear. That's the name of the game on this one. Facing fear, embracing fear, but not being possessed by it. It's time. I cannot stop the sense that I get that this relationship, as it fulfills its contract, is going to help the world in some way. Now, that's true of fifth dimensional unity consciousness anyway. As one of us heals, all of us heals. Every time we bless our hearts, all hearts are blessed. Every time we love our souls are given love. That's unity consciousness in a thumbnail, in a nutshell. So that's true, but there's something here about the shadow of fear that is so clear. I mean, there's really only two emotions, love and fear. But there's the demon fear. I mean, you really could call that the devil. I mean, I don't fall for the Judeo-Christian mythos of all of that. Everything is divine. There is only one. Long theological comparative religion conversation there, which is really more about the mind than the soul at the end of the day anyway. But this is what we're all here on the planet to do. So let's get one, please. What is the gold here? The balancing gold in this hedonist contract, right? This twin flame contract, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. November-ish 2019, please. My masters, tryst. Then on top of it all, they're trying not to get caught. They're sneaking around, going on here, which, you just don't tryst with a family member. Ew, right? A tryst is something exciting but usually hidden, usually something covert. Now, this is called a luck thing. So it might be that they met that way, right? That it was just time for them to come together. This is woven together. This isn't a lead and a lead. It's a lead and a gold. That there's something here about the universe bringing these two together in order to heal this in a way that is dealing somehow with the pleasures of life. But, is it at the expense of pursuing pleasure to the detriment of health or injury at the expense of others? perhaps other partners in the situation. So we are looking at a little infidelity here, and yet in a twin flame contract, if the two of them, or even if one of them can get, all right, this is nuts, either side, because like divine masculine's demons are being woken, being stirred, being poked. The divine feminine really struggling about whether to give herself to this in this new love. This might even be people who've known each other a very long time, but then all of a sudden, bloop, like it's under a time release mechanism. Bloop. Oh, I'm into you, you're into me. Now let's fry, right? Tricky, tricky, tricky shit. Thankfully, though, we've got some more clarifying cards to look at here. We're going to choose the Whispers of Love Oracle, one for each, as we've done, and that will help. Voices of the higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in clarity for the divine feminine in this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, for this Midas miser archetype, what say you for the divine feminine in this contract? Lovely. Slow down. When you are excited, you get ahead of yourself. Take some time to allow things to unfold. Slow down, which makes sense with that sense of control and giving oneself. This must be very exciting, very pleasurable, very triggery, but also bringing up the guilt, the shame in both of them if this is truly a sequence of infidelities, right? Because it's not just one. It's not just one. With the Spider Woman, it's thread by thread by thread. This may be going on for a very long time, but it's recently then hit a pinnacle of some kind. Slow down. Look, I don't judge. How else are we supposed to play out these contracts if there's not infidelity, right? I've been the other man plenty of times, but I've never directly cheated on somebody. I am loyal as fuck that way, but usually there was so much deception going on. See, that's my thing. I have a blind spot. That if someone is really deceptive, if someone is really like covert narcissist, go study covert narcissism. You'll be like, oh fuck, they seem to be everywhere. Liars, compulsive liars. You know, it's something that has made me have to rely upon really getting. It's like this contract is about me healing myself, not healing them. They're gonna have to figure that out on their own. It usually does happen that way with infidelity, regardless of which part you play. Because it's all for our healing. It's all to make us better. Everything is here to help us learn, heal, grow, become the best that we can be. And what does that better than hardship and emotional turmoil? Nothing. Oh, honey, if we could spiritually evolve just through chanting, it would have happened already, right? Thousands of years ago when the Sanskrit chants were incarnated. Blessed be, right? No, we're not all the way home yet. Yeah. So let's look for the Divine Masculine here. Please, the higher selves of all involved. One card in clarity for this Divine Masculine Exorcist in this Aries Twin Flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, what's going on here? Can you offer some clarity, some guidance, some grace? Spend some quality time together. That's interesting. It is imperative that we spend quality time with those we are in significant relationship with, listening and talking to each other. In other words, I feel like if the Divine Masculine really starts to spend time, he'll realize that the specialness here, that what makes it so exciting is because they may not know each other that well. They may really want different things, but because it's been so tristy, you little tristit, there really hasn't been a lot of communication here, as well as I'm feeling particularly on the side of the Divine Masculine here, to really get some things off his chest here for his own well-being, right? Really, really saying it's like, well, you know, I'm learning how to respond to this. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I am torn. I am torn because I'm so attracted to you, and I'm terrified of what it's going to do to my family, to my work, to my reputation, to my own sense of sanity. And she might be like, well, thank you, because I've really been trying to control myself, giving myself over to this because this doesn't feel right. and to slow it down. Let's slow it down. Look, if we're meant to be together, we're going to be together. This is a soulmate, twin flame, soul contract, something or other. It's definitely there. But if it's not honorable, you are feeding the tree poison. It will not bear healthy fruit. Nothing good will come of it. I've learned that the hard way. We all do. We all think, but I love him, but I love her. It's meant to be. Well, it may meant to be. It may be meant to be a hot mess so that you learn, heal, grow, and can still love each other from a distance, but an inability to give each other what each other wants, more what each other needs. So let's get this last whisper of love down on the table for the contract itself. Please, the higher selves of all involved. One card in clarity for this Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, twin flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, my higher selves, the higher selves of all involved. We've got this hedonist, soulmate, Wheel of Fortune, Seven of Cups, fear, tryst, forgiveness. Nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. You two have done this before in other lives. This is the lifetime where the potential is really there to say, I love you. I have so much fun for you, but this is so wrong. This is so dishonorable, and please, no bad feelings. I love you so much. I want to eat you alive. I want to cannibalize you. I love you so much. Thanks for the opportunity to heal, to grow, to learn, to become the best that I can be, to learn how to love myself, to really get, this isn't a question of whether or not we deserve each other. This is about a question of, do we deserve healthy? And if this does implode, if this contract does implode from a twin flame through soulmate into true lovers, then so mote it be. I wish that for you, because I know the torture of being in love with somebody where it's just not honorable, and maybe it's the wrong time, and maybe it's just not meant to be on that level to get what you want. But you are getting what you need. Forgiveness is the key, and it's not about forgiving yourselves or the behavior and all the rationalization. Ultimately, forgiveness is not a thing of the mind. It is a thing of the heart. It is the thing of the child. The child, once it has cried its tears, had its wrath, you love that child within yourself. Its innocence will forgive, because it will come to the place after the storms have passed. And I know this from having done this hundreds of times in this life. After the Armageddon has passed, the ashes have been risen from, you look back and you say, thank you for the opportunity to do this in a better way. Thank you for the opportunity to grow. I have grown. Thank you for the opportunity to heal. I have healed. And with that hedonist thing, that these two may be able to part ways, perhaps as friends, not as lovers, or however they work it out. There is love here. There is no question here. But being able to do it without being at the expense of others, to the detriment of their own health. It's a beautiful thing. I'm welling up a little. It's helping with the contact lens rotation. We're going to get one more down here. Journey of Love Oracle. I love this deck so much. There's no way I can memorize everything in this book. There's poetry. I'm not memorizing somebody else's poetry. I can't even memorize my own. Although I'm damn good with a lyric. And I'm damn good with a rhyming couplet. And I'm damn good with a limerick. Particularly that man from Nantucket and that lovely lady from Wheeling. Please breathe. We started with the collective pantheons. We end with the collective pantheons for the last card down in this Twin Flame series. Thank God I don't have to do it again until December. So rough. Oh, but they're the most transformative. They really are. So here we go. Breathe with me, my Aries. Oh, my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, one card in totality for this Aries collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, Twin Flame contract for November-ish 2019. Please, what's going on with this contract? Where is it on the journey of love? The Temple. A little shocked. Card number 59, right? 5 and 9 makes 14. 1 and 4 is 5, right? So yeah, that's the number of change. The Temple. Temple Emmanuel. Sounds like a lot of kissing of mezuzahs, Bette Midler joke back in the 70s. Okay, look it up. Is that Divine Madness? Yeah. Great. I love Bette Midler. Don't meet your heroes, though. Haven't met her. Because all I want to say is just thank you. You saved my life. If anybody knows her, just tell her, yeah, you saved a purple-haired gay witch from Long Island's life. Back when he was 13. Number 59, The Temple. Breathe. Pretty card, though. The Temple. The lover and the beloved meet in sacred space. They take respite from cares of the world, entering into sanctuary where only they exist. You are in need of this. Meditation, making love, connection and dance, intimacy and surrender into the moment. Your body and soul need to enter into the temple and participate in the sacred ceremony. Choose to gift this to yourself. Set aside time. Turn off the computer and the mobile telephone. Turn on music and set the lighting. Be in the present moment. Do you remember your body? Oh yes, here it is. Can you be in its temple with presence and delight? Now considering the tryst. A temple tryst? This is about doing it for yourself. This oracle brings guidance to take time out to smell the flowers. Stop it, Melchior. Don't you scratch that. Don't do it right in front of me. Scratching the nice sideboard. Sorry, my youngest is acting up. I see you. Didn't do bad. Don't do that. You want to come sit with me? Come sit if you want. Boys. Breathe. This oracle brings guidance to take time out to smell the flowers, savor the pleasures of life, hedonist, and renew your connection to the inner lover. Your sensuality wants to come out and play. You are encouraged to explore scent, touch, taste, and feeling. You are encouraged to play with color. What moves you? What brings you into connection with yourself in this moment again? It is the wholeness of divine self-connection in sacred space that will best nourish you now, right? So the total twin flame, I get it. This contract is what kind of relit the pilot light within both of you. Really needs ultimately to be forgiven. What a sacred gift to give each other. But now you've got to find those ways of giving it to yourself. Meditation, real seriously, true Eastern Tantra is so helpful. It's not sexual yoga. That's the external forms of it. Perhaps, you know, people are just doing it for prolonged orgasm. Hey, I'm down with that. I've got the hedonist archetype lifelong. But it's really about weaving yourself back together to the one. That the majority of tantric work is solo. A lot of people don't get that. You have to build the foundation. You have to get the nervous system ready for that sort of voltage to come in. But even beyond that, that if it's at the detriment to your own health and at the expense of others, it's non-sustainable. And think of it this way, through doing it through what this card of the temple suggests, there's still a poem, we'll get to it, then that's going to heal both of you so individually that really you're just going to have to find a way to manage this, whether you never speak to each other again, or if you just say, okay, enough's enough, but I love you, and I always will, and if things were different another time, another place, but we can't do this dishonorably. That's a twin flame for you. Let's do the poem. Take a deep breath, please. Should love be given as it is received, on this day I grant you the love of 1,000 mountain streams and the pleasure of 100 bleats from a newborn baby fawn. For I too cry for love. And like the fawn, I cry with the hunger of being alive. And on this day, I cry for the happiness of giving and the warmth of receiving and the softness of your gentle touch. It is moments like these when I smile for the someone who will always care. That's about you. This is about giving yourself the love that you want. You know, there's a wonderful book, by the way, if dance is your thing. Sweat Your Prayers by Gabrielle Roth. Read it back in the 90s. Life changer. In terms of really going into sacred movement, sacred dance, I have a lot of dance training in this life. So even here around the house, you know, like I'll put on some playlist and just let go of the mind and move into it and let that breath breathe through me, move the body. It is like making love to the self. Not to mention very good for the spine. Right, the systems, right? Let's do your overview, because this is just really, really powerful. And I think when you see it in overview, it always makes a little bit more sense. Ready? Last one for the twin flames. Say it with me, my Aries collective. Magic clap! We've got the divine feminine with the Midas miser archetype, the shadow, hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth, the light attribute, entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold, delight in sharing life's riches with new love. And that Pisces card, absolute empathic, intuitive draw here. This love seems to be ever renewing, and yet has to control herself, has to control the giving of oneself, which makes sense when we look at the tryst in the center lane of the contract itself. The guidance from the higher self. Girl, slow your roll, slow down. When you're excited, you get ahead of yourself. Take some time to allow things to unfold. Breathe. For the divine masculine, we've got the Exorcist here in the shadow. Fear of facing your own demons. You may have the fear of facing what's really going on here within himself, what his own compulsions are, what his own demons are, his own fears. But in the light attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses, particularly with that hedonist here and this trysting, if this is indeed a cheater, infidelity situation here. But he is in retreat with Two of Swords, is pulling back, rethinking it, analyzing it, looking at it from so many different sides. But with that lead of specialness here, there's a real destructive force of saying perhaps he deserves it because he's special, right? But special good or special bad, better than or less than, that really his ability to respond to himself with love and respond to the situation in a loving way and with empathy for all involved, that perhaps is being overridden because of the amount of pain that he's already been through, which tends to be a covert narcissist, right? They martyr, and therefore it's okay that they hurt people with what they do, or it's just plain old overt narcissism where I'm special and I'm the king, and it's good to be the king, and this is what I want, and my response is give me what the fuck I want, the rest of you can go pound sand, right? And what's from the higher self there? Spend some quality time together. It is imperative that we spend quality time with those we are in significant relationships with, listening to and talking to each other. So with the slow down there, with the divine feminine, it really feels like there's some important conversations that need to be had here, spending time together in a healthy context. Yeah, not everybody needs to know about it. Everybody's got boundaries of privacy that are valid, but in this larger context, there are things that just need to be discussed, because as I'm looking at the center lane here, this feels very tortured, very not the first time this has happened in this life or in this lifetime, meaning that this has happened in lifetimes before. The hedonist for the overall contract pursues pleasurement to the detriment of health, indulges at the expense of others in the shadow. The light attribute inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life, celebrates the beauty in oneself, which is just beautiful overall. But with that card of soulmate paired with really the Wheel of Fortune, which is about fate and destiny here, that there has to be that alchemy of either suffer fate or manifest destiny. And with that Seven of Cups there, it seems like there's other options on the table here, ways of doing this, keep it going, end it, but there is really only ultimately one option, and that has to do with the fear, alchemizing the fear here, and really looking at these trysts as an opportunity for healing and what? Forgiveness. It is the only alchemy that will really work in any situation. Nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments, because this is sort of rigged then to be disappointing as a twin flame contract. So both will learn how to forgive, in particular themselves. How could I do that? How could I cheat on that? How could I be sucked into that? How could I give so much of myself? How could I believe myself so special that I would hurt the people that I love and betray their trust? Well, thank you for the opportunity to be better, right? Thank you for giving me self. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to heal, to learn, to love myself, to grow, to strengthen a weakness. And somehow this is helping all of life. So let them both enter the temple, their own individual temples, individually, for their own coming to God moment, to their own coming to the divine, to their own process of healing, transformation, self-love, self-respect, and to tryst with the self, to tryst with the higher selves, because there is so much love here. There is no question that this is a high voltage contract here. One of the two of you are Aries, whatever is going on here, so the heat and the passion is high, even though there are no fire cards in the tarot indicated here. So much love. And should this really be a twin flame contract that implodes into a true lover contract, and blessed be, I hope so, but not without that forgiveness and by entering on a semi-permanent basis your own interior temples. Well, Aries, wow, thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Please comment what this is for you, because if it's not a romantic sexual paradigm, I'd be interested to know what that is, right? I'd be interested to know that context, because this isn't necessarily confusing. It's wicked clear, but the how seems a little unclear to me, other than romantic sexual. So may this Aries collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign twin flame contract be blessed with all that it needs for November-ish 2019, that they may both heal, that they may both learn, that they may both evolve, that they may both become better, alchemizing their lead into gold for the well-being of all concerned. And so it is. Please do like and subscribe. Help me get to 1,000. I will do Drunk Tarot once a month just for fun. Tits and shiggles, as I like to say. I love you all so much. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of the holiday season. But for now, hail, farewell, and blessed be.